Thank you, members of the board of Facebook. We're incredibly grateful for this opportunity to be here. My name is Gian Valerio, and these are my colleagues, Wendy Wang, Jen Barker, and Caitlin Lasciata, and we are consultants. There are a myriad of reasons as to why Facebook has taken the spotlight, particularly regarding most recently with Cambridge Analytica scandal. However, that is not why we're here today. We're here today because of the issue of fake news, particularly regarding Emma Gonzalez. Emma Gonzalez survived the Parkland shooting earlier this year that took 17 of her classmates. Since then, she has become nationally known as a gun reform activist. And shortly after her March for Our Lives rally, images of her reportedly ripping up the U.S. Constitution went viral. And despite the fact that it got debunked, it continued to be shared over and over again on Facebook, garnering millions of engagements. Her story illustrates that fake news, even when debunked, continues to contribute to a climate of misinformation, which is a direct attack on the sacred trust that is the free press. Because of this, I want to delve into what I mean by fake news, and this are stories and hoaxes that are deliberately created to misinform and deceive readers. Given this definition, we beg the question, how can Facebook protect the sacred trust that is the free press while still being ethically sound?
So Facebook used to be a place where you could find news about other people. Now it's just a place where you can go to find news. While Facebook initially started out as just a social media platform, we believe Facebook needs to adapt to what its users have turned it into be and become a clearinghouse for information. Facebook does not need to be a writer or an editor, but they need to at least tell their readers if what they're reading is trustworthy or not. This is incredibly important because, as Thomas Jefferson once said, the only security of all is in a free press. This free press is a sacred trust between the people and our society. And we think our democracy and our society would crumble without it. Facebook needs to become a clearinghouse for information because 66% of US adults use Facebook, and 45% of them use it as a news source. Of that 45%, only 33% check other news sites. To protect all of these users and the 2 billion monthly active users that Facebook has worldwide, we believe Facebook needs to reform to become a leader in an industry that allows individuals not just to connect with each other, but to connect with the world through trustworthy news.
Before we move on to talk about the solutions that we've proposed for Facebook, we want to ground everyone in the ethical framework that we framed our solutions around. So first is duty. This begs the question, what is Facebook's obligation to this issue of fake news? Our aim here is to focus on optimizing the human integrity and also human liberty. Second is the consequentialist view. This allows us to look at the future effects of any actions that we'll take, and the goal here is to optimize human liberty and human welfare. Lastly is virtue. With virtue, we ask ourselves the question, what type of individuals do we want our users to become, and how can we help our users become more informed and educated citizens? With this, we came up with a three-pronged approach to attack the issue of fake news. First, we suggest coming out with an internal ethical consulting group. Second, we suggest coming out with a system of trust ratings on Facebook's media platform. And lastly, we suggest coming out with an educational system. To talk more about Facebook's internal ethical consulting group, we imagine this to be a group of 4 to 5 highly educated individuals who also have a strong background in ethics. We believe that this group will serve as a system of checks and balances between Facebook's current corporate structure as well as their current revenue model. With this group, we believe that Facebook will set itself at the forefront of this issue and also be a leader in this issue to show other social media companies what they can do about the issue of fake news. With this new group that we're suggesting that Facebook brings out, we also recognize that Facebook should rebrand themselves and also their mission. Facebook was originally created, as Jen mentioned before, as a place for people to meet new people, not as a news platform. But with the evolving technology and also global scene, we believe that Facebook has a duty to address their position in this issue of fake news. So with this, the new mission statement that would be additive to Facebook's current mission statement that is more focused on community values would go along the lines of, we recognize that Facebook is not only a social media platform, but also a news platform. And by embracing this dynamic role of being both a social media platform and a news platform, we hope to empower Facebook's users and give them a better user experience by providing them the tools to create meaningful connections.
As Wendy just said, we recognize that Facebook has a true duty to address the issue of fake news in society today. But This needs to be a solution that encompasses the entire platform and community that is Facebook, whether it be through the sources, our users, or the experts within the Internal Ethical Consulting Board. We believe that together we can create an algorithm and a coding solution to optimize the human welfare within this consequentialist framework. So with this, we first want to introduce trust ratings. I first need to say that this is not a truth rating. We understand that there's an issue of bias and censorship, and that everyone has the right and freedom within our First Amendment to share their ideas and their news within the freedom of press. But what we're looking to do is to put a trust rating. So this will be tied with the source. It won't be tied with the individual contents. As we know, Facebook is not in the business of being editors of content. We will be able to mitigate the risk by adopting this clearinghouse model that Wendy and Jen both spoke about earlier. But with this, what we're looking to introduce is a yellow light, green light, red light system, similar to a traffic light. This will allow users to be able to distinguish between the sources and see green content as being trustworthy, yellow as maybe potentially thinking about taking an extra second to understand the source, and then also red light, being aware that this content may not be trustworthy. We also understand that there is a world of op-ed. There's opinion-based sources that also need to have an extra emphasis to mitigate the risk associated with this and bias and censorship. With this, what we're looking to do is apply a blue light. So this indicates that it is a type of op-ed story and that there may be opinions based within the fact of the article. Also, to add on to this, we believe that by tying in users, allowing them to flag the content as they see as potentially damaging or as potentially false, this will allow them to also be pioneers within the solution and truly create this community that we want. We'll also integrate third-party fact checkers who will also be experts within ethics and the truth of this and the trust of these sources to allow us to augment and improve this algorithm. Finally, we'll have a spam feed that will also allow us to optimize the user experience and how they engage with our platform. That will allow them to customize their feed. If they only want to see green lighted content, they can do that. But if they want to see the entire spectrum of green light, yellow light, red light, blue light systems, they can do that as well. Now, I'll have Jian talk about educating the future.
Our last course of action involves launching a philanthropic arm called the Facebook Education Group to counter the issue of media literacy. Emma Gonzalez's story taught us that users do not know what to make sense of the content that they see on their news feeds. To counter this issue, we will have the Facebook Educational Group give away free modules to elementary, middle, and high school students that will give them the tools to traverse the climate of misinformation by giving them the tools to learn how to decipher between a neutral source versus one that has a political agenda, to spot native advertising, and overall just be skeptical of news stories as a whole. That is our long-term goal. In the short term, we hope to have those same lessons be condensed into a crash course video that all Facebook users would have to complete the next time they log on to Facebook. Both our short and our long-term goals would affirm Facebook as taking seriously its corporate social responsibility to do good for society. This takes the responsibility off from Facebook and gives it to the users themselves. In this way, the users can take it upon themselves to feel empowered, create their own opinions, and ultimately become more aware of the situation in an increasingly digital age.
So to conclude, we believe that our solution will be beneficial for Facebook as a company, for Facebook's users, and for our democracy. We know that our three-pronged solution under the framework of duty, consequence, and virtue will be a long road, but we believe it is necessary for Facebook to pioneer change and become a leader in an ever-changing industry. Thank you.
Sit down,
Actually, scooch over.
and you're welcome to